Hi guys, Martin Curry from Belief Media. I'm going to talk to you just briefly about the use of interest rates in your consumer-facing marketing material, right? Whether that be consumer outreach, your website, advertising, or whatever else. Should it be used, and how should it be used? Okay. Now I refer an ad that's running online at the moment by somebody that calls themselves a marketer, and they say that most marketers know that people don't give a rat's ass about interest rates. Obviously aligned to feed or assign value to a nonsense program, because it's objectively wrong, and I don't like it when false information is used to leverage the value of a product or service. It's just criminal. Now this marketer, is obviously a little clueless and doesn't understand the nuances. We have the data, right? In fact, the data is publicly available. 94% of consumers consider interest rate to be the single most important attribute when considering a home loan. Now that particular attribute, that's interest rates, is it's scored twice as high as number 2 and number 3 and number 4, which are offsets, transaction facilities, all those sorts of things that people rank. So interest rate is what people are interested in. Now, as brokers, we can use interest rates in marketing. We don't want to be rate-driven brokers. Nobody wants to be a rate-driven broker. That's absurd, right? We know that. We know rates are a load of BS, but that's not how our consumer feels. Marketing is about appealing to our market, okay, not our ego. So when we do outreach, we can use interest rates happily, but we convert on everything else. Convert on structure, convert on value, convert on personality, convert on post-settlement, convert on all those other programs that might run during and after, and the service that people might receive during the process. All right. Now, to give you value, to give you an idea, we put interest rates on all our websites. There's a really good reason for that, right? And that's because, like I said, 94% of consumers consider interest rates to be the single most important attribute when taking out a home loan. That statistic can't be ignored, okay? So we don't want to be rate-driven brokers, but you don't also want to be stuck in the industry hyperbole, the industry rhetoric that suggests, oh no, if you're a rate-driven broker, it means you can't use rates. That's a load of crap, because if we're going to talk to consumers, we need to talk to them in a language that they understand. They understand rates. They don't understand anything else. Okay? So rates is a hook. It's a value magnet. It gets them in the door. The conversion is based on selling them on everything else, right? But rates creates phone calls, and that applies particularly in Facebook ads. You'll get your leads on Facebook down to $1 or $2 if you use rates effectively. You always need to qualify your rates. Remember, you never put a rate on a website without providing a comparison rate, without providing a disclaimer, including the LVR criteria and any seriously limited conditions and all that sort of stuff. In fact, failing to provide that information is against the law. It's what lead gen companies do, right? They lure people on rates and rates alone, right? But the ad itself can speak to people in a way that they'll engage with it and convert off it. You don't have to lie to people. The service that mortgage brokers provides is truly spectacular. It's amazing. The impact you have upon people's lives is incredible. You do not have to lie in your advertising. So when you put a rate up online, first of all, you're required to include a comparison rate. Sure, but include all the other terms and conditions and everything else. That's not going to stop people from giving you a call. If the call to action is persuasive enough and genuine enough, they will give you a call. Now, I'm going to talk to you about our website, because we put rates all over our website. Why is that the case? I said it before. I'm going to say it again, because 94% of people consider interest rate to be the single most important attribute, more important than anything else, right, by a significant margin, because that's the language they speak, and we have to speak to consumers in the language that they understand. I don't know how many times I have to say that, because people question me on that all the time, right? I'm not a rate-driven broker by any stretch, but I'll use whatever means necessary, right, within the bounds of legislation and the law and ethical boundaries, in order to attract people into our operation, right? Because once we get them on the phone, we convert them on everything else, structure. Now, the reason we include rates on our website. Now there's an article on our website that talks about choice architecture and so on, the number of pathways that people can take. And I'm going to create a video. I'm creating a lot of videos lately, a video on our website and why it performs and outperforms any other website in the industry by a magnitude of sometimes 50 to 60 times, right? We've got a matrix API which we lean on to. We had a guy threaten us with court recently, said we gave him access to all the data, and he obviously dropped it when he realized how garbage he was. So when you enter our website, right, there are about 300 primary pages, 100 sort of cornerstone pages, but there is over 27 million, I think. No. There's 22 million if you include the Streets API, and everything else adds about another 30 or 40 million. So there's potentially 70 million pages on your website, right? Every single page on your website is a potential organic entry point. Therefore, every single page on your website needs to provide a conversion opportunity and needs to convert. Every single page on your website is a type of landing page that needs to convert. So we'll put forms and calendar options and all sorts of things hidden. We want people to discover options. We don't want to force it down their throat, but on every single page. Now, when you visit the front page of the website framework we provide, there is 1 million to the 1 millionth power different pathways they can take through 10 different pages. So if someone visits the first page and then clicks 10 links, 1 million to the 1 millionth power. Now, that's an extraordinary number. In fact, the number of options, the number of pages they can potentially visit and bounce around in those 10, just those 10 pages, is greater than the number of the grains of sand on Earth. Right? It's a ridiculous statistic. Right? And I'll talk more about that later when I talk about choice architecture on our website, because it's a really interesting thing to consider. Because when we have a website, we often don't think about even page with 300, or most websites have 300 pages. If you had a website that had 10 pages, there is still a number of pathways within that website, and we need to create an expectation that people will follow those predefined or preordained pathways. We don't want them to go off hunting all the time, because we want to direct them, at least have them believe that they're making the decision for themselves when in fact it was preordained. So we can measure 30 to 70% of everyone that visits our framework will visit the same first 3 pages, which is an incredible statistic. The likelihood of that is in the order of 1 to 300 million or something. It's really significant, just those 3 pages, based on the number of options within the site. So that's something to consider, 30 to 70%, depending upon the type of client, the type of interaction they're having, and so on. We know where they're going to head, and a lot of that comes back to rates. If you don't put rates on your website, our rates are sourced directly from the lenders, they're updated every day, they're always accurate, they're always, people often say, well, that rate's not available to me, but that's the information that's given to us via the lender. If you dig a little deeper, you'll find that that is one of their products, but it's just not public. A lot of their products are unpublished, but through the open banking system, they have to make every product available, whether it's made available through the retail market or not. So that creates a massive opportunity for pathways through your website, right? The more pages a person visits on your website, the more likely they are to engage with you in some way, and certainly the more likely they are to call you or anything like that. So rates play a massive part in that, right? If you don't provide them, CanStar will. If you don't provide them, realestate.com.au will, and they'll send them to another broker. If you don't provide them, somebody else will, and they'll bounce off your website. It's why we're adamant that this is, and objectively, we know categorically, you can't argue the point with us. We know that having rates on your website will objectively improve upon your conversions in the by a magnitude of 10 to 50 times sometimes. We have that data, we know it to be true, because that's what your clients are looking for. The more information you provide them, and if you continue to demonstrate that expertise and authoritativeness through the information on your website, it will build the trust necessary in a funnel conversion. Remembering the funnel is not a subscription, it's a journey, all that sort of stuff, right? I'll talk more about this later, because I really need to correct some of the misinformation in the market, and again, a lot of that comes down to rates. Last thing, guys, the reason that you can, not always, but can communicate with using rates with consumer-facing material is because it is the language that clients speak, right? If you're advertising in China, You don't run print ads in their local communist newspaper in the Turkish language, right? We have to communicate in a language that people understand. Rates is universal. They associate it, rightly or wrongly, they associate it with their repayment. Guys, take care. My name is Martin Curry. 0400 777 300 is my mobile number. You can reach me through our website on beliefmedia.com.au. Call us on 1300 235 433. It's 1300 Believe. Thanks, guys. Bye.